Greetings, my fellow degenerates. This is going to be my very first video recording for Legacy. Um, Never done any recording before. This is going to be the first time that I'm using recording software. Try to make the audio as good as I can, but my mic is very crappy. So bear with me. This is just a test. I'm going to use this to get some feedback. Does it work? What does work? What doesn't work? I know the audio isn't ideal. I might get a better mic if I like doing this. I got a lot of requests from people like, do you stream? Would you stream this deck? Hey, I built this deck. Would you like to stream it? Um, I'm just gonna see if recording a video is something I like doing. I would love feedback. Try to be a bit kind to me. Today I'm gonna be playing with the Krark Delver list. This is just a very, as most is a straightforward Krark list can get. Um, Blue Delver, adding in some Krarks just as a value engine instead of like Borrower and Ethereal Foragers, what I normally have in this spot, and then running 2 Cunning Wishes over a removal spot and one of the Force of Negations that I usually have in the main board. And then swapping out Spell Pierce for Flusterstorm because it works really well with Krark. I like Spell Pierce a lot better in the main board usually, but if you can ever get spell countered while retaining your Flusterstorm in your hand, because the Storm again it goes on the stack and it gets bounced by Krark, that's just too much value to give up. So I'm still trying that. The biggest things I want to try with this list still is I have Field of Ruin in the deck now, which is like the worst card in the deck at the moment. But I just really want to give the Cunning Wish Archive Trap thing a try. So this means that if my opponent fetches or searches their deck while I have Krark in play, I can Cunning Wish. If it gets copied, I get 2 Archive Traps, which are free to cast at that point. So no matter how many times I lose the flips, I will always get them doubled up and mill my opponent for so 13 cards, doubled up 26 per Archive Trap. I'll mill them for 52, and at that point their library should be empty. But in order to get that going consistently, we have Field of Ruin, so if we have the mana open our opponent's turn, they don't search, we Cunning Wish for the Archive Traps, untap, take our turn, and then Field of Ruin our opponent. When that's resolved, we're going to resolve both of our Archive Traps. It's just a fun little twist on Delver. I'm pretty sure that the best Delver list, even with Krark, is still just cut the Cunning Wishes, play more straightforward with like 2 Krarks. But I really want to try this still, since it is very powerful. To make the Cunning Wishes a bit better, I've added a Pyrokinesis to the sideboard just as a, well, if you're spending 3 mana on this and just need to value play, I really want to have this. I have an Electricity where I usually have to volley, just because it's an instant, which means we can Cunning Wish for something that can wipe an Empty the Warrens Goblin army. And I wanted a card draw spell on the Press Progress spot, but I want to try Press Progress now, since if your opponent has some number of lands that are non-basic, which is a good card to have access to, especially if you're not running a 4 wasteland version of Blue Delver. If we have Krark in play and we can get it and then guarantee to either double it up or have it back in our hand, like an opponent with 4 non-basics just is guaranteed to take 16 damage if we get to half the time and cast the result. So just trying it out. Other than that, the list is pretty stark. I like the 11 cantrips, it's just the basic I work with. 13 creatures is what I always want in Blue-Red Delver. Normally have 11 counters, of which 1 is now Cunning Wish, and I normally run 6 removal spells, of which also 1 is now the Cunning Wish. Other than that, I added another blue-red source in Volcanic Island, because we want to be able to cast our spells multiple times in a turn if we lose flips, or when we're just chaining spells together. It's really important to have enough blue and red sources to have in play. And then we have Caracas, just because I think it's a very good card just in general to have in our 75 in Blue Red Delver. But also because it can bounce our Krark, either to protect it or when our opponent plays a spell that we have to force, we can Caracas our own Krark and then be guaranteed that we don't have to flip our own force will, basically. Other than that, Krark is really great in these kinds of shells, except for with these 5 cards. Forces are just very feels bad when you have to try and force something with Krark in play. The hope is that you can cast some cantrips, double them, get card advantage, and then have enough spare cards to do this. But it's not a great combination. Daisies have been great with it, just because just the ideal scenario that already came up a couple of times is like your opponent wants to play their Oko or their 3-drop around your days. You untap, you play your Krark, and now your days is guaranteed to have them either get returned to your hand or have them pay 2 more to resolve their spell. So their 3-drop that they try to play around days on turn 4, now they need 5 mana to play it around days. So that's something I'm really liking, and I hope that'll be good enough, because at other times you're trying to day something and just end up returning all your lands to your hand. But I still think the deck is fun. I think this introduction has been more than long enough, and I'm just gonna play the game. Like I said, let me know if you have any remarks. I know this intro is long, so let me know if that's something you like, you don't like. I could go into a lot more detail whenever I record with the deck, or a lot less. Just let me know. So today we're just gonna fire up a league. I'm probably only gonna record 1 or 2 rounds, depending on how they go. Just because I want to give this whole recording thing a try. I've never done anything like this before. This first time it's just as an audio video test. So let's do this and see how it goes. Sorry for that bit of dead air there. I haven't been playing much Magic Online Legacy lately. And the few times I did, I ended up making a lot of mistakes because I wasn't focused. So I hope when I'm recording and I'm actually trying to convey a message and show people how the games go, I can stay a bit more focused. So we'll see how it goes. I'll turn down my game sound volume a bit. I think that got picked up by my mic. I'm definitely keeping this hand. It's a shame we're not on the play, but I can't mulligan to a Force of Will. Just a solid curve with a daze. It's not the ideal hand. We don't have a cantrip, but I think it's just wrong to cantrip a hand like this in the dark. Opponent goes Island Purity. Notable, it's not a snow-covered island, so I'm guessing it could be Delver, but those usually also run snow-covered. So my guess here would be some kind of combo deck. Here, because they land on the basic island, but I really want to have these scalding turns for when I have a Delver. Then again, I'm also 100% gonna tap out for a spell on turn 2. So in this case, since I have 2 scalding turns, I think it's just correct to get a basic. Make sure we don't get screwed over by any non-basic hate or anything, and just run it out like that. If I didn't draw the second scalding turn, I would just have led on the volcanic island. So I don't expect them to have any. It's unlikely that they have weakness, let's say. Let's see what our Delver finds. Force of Will. That's great. I'll have to reveal that. And now, before I show my opponent anything else, I could attack first. But I'd hate to need to day something while being in my attack step and not being able to play a 2 mana spell. So what I'm going to do here is just run out the volcanic island. Now this is interesting. Normally the play is always for me first Arcanist, then Young Pyromancer. Way more value, way more pressure in the long term. We don't have any cantrips at the moment. So and our opponent is probably a combat deck, so I would just want to try to pressure them as hard as I can. So while normally it would always Arcanist, this situation for me goes for Young Pyromancer. Hardcast counterspell, so they're likely not a combo deck, but since I have only 2 drops and I do want to get some pressure going, I could daze this. On the other hand, I have no spells to follow it up with. I already have pressure in play, so I'm just gonna let this resolve. That's fine. Like, yes, that would be a great spot to get value out of daze, but yeah, not worth it. Third island. Only basic islands. So this could be some kind of interesting alternative deck that's not very tier 1. This doesn't look like anything that I'm identifying straight away. I do want to make my Scalding Tornado first, and now I'm going to do attacks. So now I'm not risking to not have the 2 mana for my Dread or Arcanist, so I can just attack first, see what happens, and then cast my spells. So here it's just Arcanist and Resolve, so I'm just going to pass. Still expecting them to have some kind of combo. Getting a bit anxious, but we have a lot of protection, so that's good. Cunning Wish can get us another force if we really needed to. Surgical could be in order if we really wanted, and if we ever find another land, we can also set up like an end of turn, get a Pyroblast, and have Pyroblast in our hand. We sadly don't have anything great to get that Cunning Wishes into our Arcanist very well. But like getting a Pyroblast plus Storm or Force Mitigation are just all good options, and I think that's better than keeping up the then casting as the second Dreadhorde Arcanist. Brainstorm, so they're very likely to have bad cards in their hand. Then again, I don't have a cheap way to answer this, so I just have to resolve. It's just better for them to. I'd love to counter Brainstorm. I just can't find this here. Let's see. Still expecting a Shontal to land any turn. Something like that. Maybe High Tide even. I have no clue at this point. So there's the High Tide. So it's kind of rough that we can't Cunning Wish for one of the answers now. That being said, I think we should just Force of Will this. It's unlikely that Daze is going to be good this turn, so I like Force of Willing with Daze. Then if they have no follow-up, just in the end of turn, Cunning Wish is still up. And we have the second Force of Will we need to. We have enough pressure that they have to go for it here, because if we have a bolt, they're just dead. Resolving the High Tide could be interesting. They'd have 8 mana, and we only have hard counters. So if we let this resolve, they have 4 cards left. Let's say they are a business spell and 1 counter. That wouldn't be enough. A business spell and 2 counters would be enough, especially if they have like a Flush Storm or something that's very good. But I don't think the mana is gonna matter here. They need a lot of protection, so I'm gonna let it resolve. So now they have all the mana in the world. I'm gonna cast a Time Spiral. But Force of Will this, completely expecting them to force it back. Of note, I can now. I'm not going to be able to play for Storm here. I'm just going to hope for the best. Yeah, I was going to get around that. sadly. So they had the double counter backup. If I would have fought over the high tide, it wouldn't have mattered. So these are all targeting the second force wills versus getting targeted. I don't want to draw lands of the time spiral. Each player, right? Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just fetch here. I'm going to get red. If they have to force a will again, I might be able to double bottom. So we didn't really hit here, but we can always hope that their hand is just bad. That's always announced versus spiral. But 7 cards, tons of mana, it's very unlikely that we're winning. Never know. So they're going to intuition here, tons of mana still. Don't think this is where you fight. Do you think I'm gonna, if the time spiral here and I can't do anything else about it, I'm just gonna lightning bolt them just to mess with their future force of wills a bit. And I think the real interesting question is whether we're gonna brainstorm if they put like a time spiral on the stack now, because I really want to have as much mana up as I can. Turnabout, so they're likely gonna turnabout us and just go to their second main base. Don't think they need them right now. So they're gonna turnabout themselves, 3 mana floating. Now if we find a first storm, it would be, well, basically game over. But I think that's true for most points during this turn. Today's doing thing is basically finding a force bust. They still have mana floating. Let's think about this for a second. Yeah, I don't think I want to fight him. So storm is 10. Yeah. It's been a long time since I played versus Spiral Tide, so forgive me if I'm just missing obvious lines here. It was one of my friend's favorite deck. At his first Legacy GP, he played Spiral Tide and went like 2-1 and was it, I think, 9 rounds on day 1? Or 8 rounds, and like 2-1 and 5 or 2-1 and 6. It's all draws all day. It was terrible. So they're just gonna draw 3 cards here. They have 24 mana left. Yeah, I'm gonna let this resolve and see if I can fight over anything where they're low on. They didn't get there. Like I said, sometimes they just didn't get there. It was a very expensive way for them to draw cards. So the intuition into turnabout, untapped, cunning wished for the draw X, and then just had to spend all their mana in there. And well, we got there. So versus Spiral Tide. Right, it could be interesting just to filter some of the cards out of our or their deck, but I don't think that's good. So we just want all the counters we can get as so as we can get them. Actually, not sure if they're running on defense grids at the moment. I would like a braids in my deck, but I could leave them in my sideboard, and if they do have them, I can either fight over them or cunning wish for an answer. So I'm not sure I want the upgrades, and probably it's better to just keep the cunning wishes in my deck. They have some search effects, not a lot of them, but just having a cunning wish to get doesn't get that much anymore. We're basically boarding all the good cards in. So this is probably a matchup where Krark's only good if you're really happy on the mana we have available. So basically what I want to do, I think bolts are bad, Cunning Wish is mediocre, but it's blue. Something. And it gives us access to the upgrade. Like, I wouldn't want Cunning Wish with all these cards already in my deck, but I'd be putting upgrade in the deck over it, so I don't think that gets much better. Like Surgical, just to cut them off after first High Tide, or when they Intuition. So Intuition is just a good card against Intuition. So we have two bolts that are bad at the moment and two Krarks that aren't optimal. Other than that, I like all the cards, and I don't have anything here I really need. I think I like the first upgrade over a Lightning Bolt, and then just gonna, yeah, probably get a Krark. This is not the matchup for it, I think. I could see just keeping the Krark over the final Lightning Bolt. Yeah, it's close. So in this matchup specifically, this variant of Blue-Red Delver has one very big difference with normal one, is that we have one less Power Blast effect, and we're lower on total amount of counterspells. We have a Force of Negation that's main board, we moved it to the sideboard, but it also takes another slot we usually have in the sideboard. This and doesn't really have pressure because it doesn't have a cantrip for Dreadlord Arcanist, which I see as pressure. It's just going cantrip, Dreadlord attack, get value. They have to go in before that, but we don't have the cantrip. Don't have any other good pressure items, and the Cunning Wish isn't that great post-board anymore. So I'm gonna put this. This, on the other hand, is also not ideal because we just have a Dreadlord Arcanist again without cantrips. We're playing a lot of them, but not enough apparently. In this case, I just want to keep the two colored sources and just counter these blue card for Force of Will and Red or the Arcanist, so I'm just going to put the cards back. So Ponder he went. He did shuffle. Always chance he's just looking for lands. Oh, Delver was probably the best turn one draw we could have. Just to put pressure on the deck, which is very important. I'm gonna get a Volcanic Island. Not afraid of back to basics, and I like to have as much red mana as I can when I'm drawing into Pyroblast. So, yeah, let's see. I think that was a perfect draw to have. Counterbalance really rough for us. Basically makes all our cantrips like 50% to miss, and he can set it up properly. He did shuffle, so he doesn't have it set up now. Don't have a Cunning Wish answer to this. I also don't like countering it. On the other hand, we don't have anything to do with our 2-mana drop yet necessarily. Like, we want a cantrip to have this have effect, and to have that cantrip have effect, we only get 2 draws. I don't mind delaying the Arcanist here. I like letting spells like this resolve, because I really want to fight over combo, especially when I have pressure in play. If they force back, I definitely let it resolve. Volcanic Island. Not great. I'm just gonna replay the. I'm gonna play the turn. Like, I like not giving them too much information, but I really want to make use of the scry that Delver gives me. Since I really do need a cantrip. Or more counters. Yeah, Ponder is fine. They need all their lands in one turn, so I just really want to fight on the turn they're gonna do their stuff. So let's see what we see here. Preordain. Yeah, I want to draw that because it's good with the Dreadlord. So, I'll take first. In this case, since I don't expect him to have anything to interact with the Insector Aberration. And here, I'm just gonna jam here. Because I already have 2 red, I'm just gonna take the basic now. They can always run back to basics. Just don't want to run into that blindly if I don't need to. I have 2 red here, so yeah, brainstorm is fine. So basically, the Dread Arcanist, and they know that we have a cantrip, we have some pressure on the life total. They're gonna look to try to go off next turn. Maybe they give us 1 more turn because they want to play around days or something. But it's tough for them to wait any longer. So they are gonna wait. They're just too afraid to get their high-tide dazed, maybe, if they have more land drops in hand already. So preordain, brainstorm, island. I'm just gonna preordain here. I'm not gonna drop the land first. If they spell pierce or something here, that's fine with me. I think I have enough pressure in play already, so I'm gonna bottom the Pyromancer and top the Flusterstorm, which is great here. I don't have any good lands I can top deck with the cantrip, so I'm just gonna play it now. And look to preordain again. So we have a wish to pitch to Force Will. We could pitch a Brainstorm to Force Will as well. They're on a pretty slow clock. We already have a cantrip for the next Dread Arcanist attack. This is 4 damage, they go to 11. If you have a young Pyromancer now, it's like 6 damage plus, let's say, 1 or 2 spells over the next turns. So that would take a turn off the clock, which is interesting. That's only if we play it now, but that means stepping out of Flusterstorm, so I don't think that's worth it. He's gonna bottom the Pyromancer and shield up with as many gun spells as he can. I think that's closer than it might look, because it does shave a turn off. This is what I was afraid of. So we do have the cunning ways to get an answer to that, but it's just so easy for them to go off. If I had mana untapped, I'd respond here with cunning wish. But in this case, I don't think we have the time for cunning wish anymore. So I'm gonna force a will, pitching the cunning wish, so we keep our brainstorm for the Dread Arcanist and the Flusterstorm to fight over anything if we need it. Let's see, so you can pay for 2 Flusterstorms and Flusterstorm the last. So Storm Retreat is 4, 2 on that, 2 on that, pay 1 and go 2 and 2 on those. So we can Flusterstorm here. Yeah, that's probably worth it. So what I want to do is I want to land. I'm just gonna make it as easy as I can for myself. I'm gonna pay for this one. This is Storm, targeting that one in blue. So this is gonna target. Think that worked? I hate storming for the storms. Oh, I counted my own Flusterstorm. Right. That sucks. Okay, so I maybe just lost myself this game. So I have a 3-turn clock and keep 3 mana open for Forcible. Oh, he didn't pay for it. He noticed that I screwed up, or didn't notice that I screwed up. I really screwed up there. I was countering my own Flusterstorm. I hate the Flusterstorm interface, really. Unless I'm just countering one spell, it's like we'll sink target. In this case, since he doesn't have the defense grid, I don't have to keep up my mana. I'm just gonna brainstorm. Force of negation, ponder. So force brew. Just gonna put this on top with the punter on top, and get another blue card in my hand with the brainstorm from the archivist. So this does allow us to have these up. Just put that on the bottom, and then I want to have, I think the best spell to have remaining, if we have to use all of it, is probably Force of Negation. Like, we can double up on Ponder, but they only have one more turn then, so I think it's better to have a counter remaining then. We have Force, and counter on top for next turn. I think that's better than with the Ponder remaining. I'm not gonna dig here, I just said I have 3 cards. This has to be good enough. They need 2 cards to go off, so then they need 2 cards and protection. My tide is fine. I'm not gonna fight over their setups. Preordained is also fine. I'm just gonna fight over their payoff. They need so much protection to turnabout, same story. I just don't think that's worth fighting over. They have 2 cards now. Force for negation is what it is. I hope I don't have to need to force of will. And they conceded. Okay. That was my first recorded round. Was a win. It wasn't a pretty win. Basically, my opponents spin their wheels a lot and didn't do anything. So let's see. I've been recording for half an hour now. It's maybe a bit of a short video, but I just want to get this out there and see, get feedback from people. So I'm gonna just stop here for the first time ever recording, see if the recording went well, and see if I can get it uploaded, edited if needed, and just see how that all works. This is just really gonna be a test for me. So thanks you all for watching. I didn't get to show off the whole Krark thing here. It was just Blue Red Delver doing Blue Red Delver things against an opponent that was struggling to get their game plan together. So I'll hope to see you guys again, and hope you like this, even though it was just a testing recording. Have a good day.